Hello. I seem to be having some technical difficulties, so I'm trying to fix those at the moment. If there's anybody on the stream, I think there might be a couple of people. Could you let me know if you can hear me okay and if the video is clear and not stuttering? I think it might be stuttering. So, having some technical difficulties. Thanks, Frank. I keep getting a massive drop of frames, and yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest. Yeah, video is stuttering. Okay. Right, I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can fix this. Haha, thanks, Frank. Okay. So, I'm just changing my output settings and just trying to find something that seems to be working without any stuttering. I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest. Let's try that. That looks fine. Seems okay. What do you guys think of the new logo? Oh, hang on, let's try over here, it's better. Okay, I think it's now saying we're healthy and we've got green bars all over. I'm just going to try one more increase and see if I can just make sure that it's looking good but not stuttering. So one more try, let's try that. Okay, yeah, that looks to be fine. Can I just get a check from anyone watching that there's no more stuttering? It looks like it's fine now, so I think we should be okay. Fingers crossed. Yeah, okay, right, I think the stuttering is done. So hopefully we are all set. I'm going to grab a bit of water. And let's get on with it. Oh, Scott. So Scott is here. That's wonderful. Hi, Scott. Thank you so much. So this PC is yours. Scott is our latest customer, and very, very pleased to build him a very cool little computer that I think is going to be really excellent. So I just want to say thanks to Scott for being a customer. Really appreciate you. And yeah, let's start building it, and hopefully all of our technical issues will go away. All right. Hi to Frank. Hi to Jem. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. You're the best. All right, so let's have a look at what we're building today. So the case is the Lian Li LANcool 205, which is a nice little case. It's a bit smaller than the 216, which is one of my favorite cases, but in terms of functionality, it's very similar, and I really like it. Let's have a look at what we're actually putting into the case. So firstly, we have got an AMD Ryzen 5600, which is our CPU, which is AM4. We have our motherboard, which is a B580 Aorus Elite, which is obviously an AM4 motherboard. There's a good motherboard, actually, really like that one. We've got 32 gigs of RAM from XPG, had to check that. We have an ADATA 1TB SSD. We have the AG400, I was going to say the AK400. This is the AG400 from Deepcool, which is a good little entry-level cooler. This is our power supply, the Antec 750G. Like Antec a lot. And then finally, we've got the graphics card, which this is the first one I'm installing. And if you've been listening in on the Extreme Gaming podcast, which, by the way, is very fun and interesting, I hope. Tune in at Extreme Gaming Podcast at all of the places you can get podcasts. And that's actually where Scott found us, which is just wonderful. I'm really pleased about that. But I've been talking about this graphics card for a little while now as the best value graphics card on the market. In terms of pound notes to performance per pound note spent. So it's a sub £300 graphics card. It has a lot of power and performance for the money that you spend, and I really hope that Intel is able to slowly creep up their performance on their graphics cards. So this is the B580, which is practically brand new as well. That's it. The logo is so level. Oh, Frank, you wouldn't believe. Me and Jem came round to help do it, and honestly, it took an hour to put that thing up. it's wild. It took forever. Okay, right, so let's start building. First thing we want to do, grab our motherboard, and let's put the little top-down camera on as well. I've got a button here. Let's see if a button works. Whoa, the button works, and the chat went somewhere else. Let's see what's going on there. How's that looking? All right. Oh, we're getting drop frames again. That is really annoying. 2 hours. It was 2 hours, Jem. Jeez. Okay. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? Jem will tell you that she had very little fun. I'm not the easiest person to do DIY with. I'm not very good at DIY, and I get a bit frustrated. So let's take out our motherboard. What we're going to do is we're going to build everything into our motherboard first, and then get the motherboard into the case. I'm just going to check to see if there's anything we need in here. Just a SATA cable, so we'll save that for you for when we send out the PC, Scott. And then I'm just going to use the case to build on. So I've lowered the bit rate again because there were some more drop frames. I think maybe, I'm not sure if it's a technical issue or, well, it's definitely a technical issue. I'm not sure if it's a PC issue at this point or a internet issue, but yeah, I guess we'll see. All right, so this is our motherboard. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on this camera. I think we can. Uno momento, por favor. Does that look about right? If I move it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That should be good, shouldn't it? Okay. Stream is healthy. Excellent. Please let me know if there are any drop frames, stuttering, etc., etc. KK, thank you for coming to talk to us and watching. Really appreciate you. Thank you for letting us know that it looks good. That's really kind of you. Thanks very much. Right, so first things first, this is an AM4 motherboard. So we've got an exposed socket here. So I want to get the CPU into the socket as soon as possible. In fact, it's a little bit safer than an AM5 motherboard in that if you touch anything or bang anything around the socket now on AM5, you will damage things. But here, all of the pins are on the CPU, so that's where we need to be careful. So I'm just going to get my little line up the little triangle that we have on both the CPU and the motherboard and gently drop it in. Don't force it, don't push it, just drop it in, give it a little wiggle, and there we go, it's in. Easy as that. Right, so for cooler wise, we're probably going to have to remove these. So let's do that now. Get this out of the way. So you almost certainly always have to remove these little bars here. I don't even know what those things are called, but yeah, I want to move it over to the right. The camera's not. Right. It's okay. Haven't done a live stream in a while. Can you tell? So, gonna get these removed, and that will allow us to install our cooler. Now, usually the order you do all this stuff, so the RAM, the SSD, and the cooler, doesn't matter that much, but you essentially just want to get everything onto the motherboard first. Sometimes you want to not put the cooler onto the motherboard, because that will mean that you don't have much space to work with when you put the motherboard into the case. There's no hard and fast rule about how to do that, if I'm honest. It's just kind of like see how it goes. If you know how the case looks, and if you've got a very big case that's got a lot of space, you can probably be fine. But you'll find that if you put the cooler on and then start messing around having to put the cables in once it's in the case, you've got very little room to get this EPS connector in there. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting on the heatsink onto the SSD, and then I can get the SSD in first. So that one's easy. Always do this first because it doesn't just impact anything else. It literally just goes in its place and then you're done. There's no knock-on effect with these. So how's everybody doing, by the way? Having a nice afternoon? Frank, Jem, Scott, up to anything? Any plans? Scott, you're from Glasgow, is that right? Which part of Glasgow are you from? I have visited quite a few times. Only really the very centre of Glasgow though, which is really lovely. Okay, so let's get some RAM in there, shall we? So, RAM. 2 RAM sticks is always best. The reason being, if you buy fast RAM, which this is quite fast RAM, this matters more with DDR5, so these are DDR4 because we're on AM4, but with DDR5 especially, the RAM speeds are getting quite a lot faster, so you're finding that they're 6,000, 6,500, even 7, and sometimes even 8. But what happens is you can only really get those fast speeds by turning on XMP or Expo for AMD. If you do that, it's technically an overclock, and sometimes you just can't get the overclock working. But you're much more likely to get the overclock working if you are using 2 sticks. If you then try and run your XMP or Expo overclock with 4 sticks, you'll very likely find that it won't run stably, so you have to then bring the speed down a bit. So it really depends what's best for you, but if you can buy 2 large sticks, so let's say you need 64 gigs for running some program, buy 2 times 32. And then that way you don't have to have all 4 slots with 16, 16, 16, 16. Right, let's throw away some of this junk. Scott is just outside Glasgow. Nice. And how is the weather for you today, Scott? Because today here is actually quite nice. It's not pouring down with rain. That's a good start. Right, so I think we're going to leave the cooler because the case is, it's not small, but it's on the smaller side. So I think we'll leave the cooler and see how things fit when we put the motherboard in. But that's the main part of the motherboard now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up the case and just start having a look. Let's put these parts down, I don't need those yet. Start having a look at what needs to be done in terms of which goes first. So let's move this aside and let's go for main only. Oh, yeah, okay, the buttons work. Very sunny. What, in Glasgow? Wow, wee. That is, very lucky. Right. Sorry for all the rustling noises. I'm going to have to take this out of its box. I always say to myself, every time I do a live stream, I'll take the case out of the box before I start and do a, here's one I prepared earlier moment. But then I just never end up doing it, ever. It's probably just because I'm a bit of an idiot. And I've got good intentions, but bad planning skills. Yeah, let's go with that, shall we? Instead of being an idiot, good intentions and bad planning. All right. So, here's our case. Pretty nice looking. Got a nice, it's quite dark tint. But saying that, I usually have the big lights on, but don't have the big lights on today. I'm trying out a new look, with regards to the lights and everything. To be honest, it was because this had so much glare that it was like a second sun, and I don't think anyone's going to enjoy that. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to dismantle most of the case so that I have access to every part of it. No more stuttering, everything looking good. It's a real shame because usually I can stream at a really high bit rate for proper high quality visuals, but yeah, I usually do it at 50 and it's currently at 20. I tried to put it at 30 again and that didn't work and it was dropping frames, so gonna have to do a little bit of troubleshooting there. That's okay, I'm a nerd and I love a bit of troubleshooting. Alright, so let's see what we've got. We've got a dust filter on top, which is very handy. It's magnetic, good little touch. We have one fan in the rear, one fan at the front. We've got a nice covered area for your power supply to go under there. And if we look around the back, we've got not loads, but a reasonable amount of cable management areas. So a little channel here to put cables and plenty of room back here as well. So I think this is going to be just fine. This is the first time I'm building in this particular one. I've probably built in, I think, almost every Lian Li case, but this one's quite new, so haven't seen this one yet. I've probably got a spare fan I can put in there for you as well, Scott, because you've got one fan that comes with it. So here, let me have a look now. I'll just bring out my box of all of Tyle's fans. It's getting smaller. There's only a few in there now. All right, let's see what we've got. So we're looking for one. Yeah, there we go. Second fan for you. So let's just throw that in at no extra cost, sir. This is, oopsie, breaking things. This is what we love to do at Gamertech. We're not especially here to become millionaires, although I guess that would be quite nice. But our main aim is to give something back to the gaming community that we've all been in for so long. Apart from Jem, she doesn't play games, she just likes to walk dogs. But to be able to give back and make sure that if people are looking to get into gaming or they're looking to upgrade their gaming rig, that they can do so affordably, because quite frankly nowadays it's very expensive. Well, pretty much any hobby is expensive, I think, these days, but PC gaming especially so. This particular PC, come on, you little bugger. Oh, I don't know if I can say that on stream. This particular PC cost just a touch over £800, which I think is fantastic value. This will play AAA games at 1080p high settings or 1440p medium to high settings at pretty decent frame rates. So I think this will be a nice little gaming PC for you, Scott. I'm just going to grab some screws to get this fan in. Sorry, bear with. This is the problem when you just have a bunch of stuff lying around. Right. So what I'm doing now is, you can see here, let's move this away. Just going to attach these fans. Where is... Okay, that's interesting. So, am I missing something here? There seems to be no... There's like a... Let's have a look. Yeah, this is weird. The fan is kind of stuck on, but there seems to be... I don't know if you guys can see this, but there seems to be... If you can see here, so there's a screw. There's a screw just there, but on the top, there's no screw. Interesting. Is it? I don't know what it is. That's a strange setup. I almost want to take off this one to see how it's attached, because there seems to be no way to attach a new fan, and that is really odd. I'm gonna let's screw the two in that we do have, we can put here. I've got to say, I'm a little bit confused by that. Maybe there's something that's well, what I'll do is I'll get it in place for now, and then I probably won't faff around too much with it right this moment, because I'm still going to spend, you know, a good couple of hours installing the software and testing. I mean, I'd say a good few hours. A good couple of hours installing Windows and all the software and drivers, but then we test our PCs for 12 hours so that it's you know, fully ready to go. Stress tested. All the components have been run at, you know, top level max output to make sure that nothing is going to break, and that's a very important part of the process. So I won't spend too much time on that. I'll fix that later off camera, because that is troubleshooting is one of those things that is really important, but it's also super boring to watch and takes a long time. So it's not really kind of, you know, stream friendly content, you know. Yeah, I thought, Frank, it was an extra top plate. I thought that too, but it's not. It's really weird. There's literally an extra, like a fixed plate there that doesn't come off. Very strange. That's fine, we'll figure it out. Okay. Scott has been gaming since the Amiga days. Wow, yeah, me too. My friend Gareth and Leon, brothers, had an Amiga 500, and we used to play all sorts of things on that. Like, there was a football game, and we played Double Dragon and Golden Axe and Contra and Super Turrican and loads of stuff like that. All proper old, very cool games, and I probably don't even remember half of them, to be honest. Yeah, I don't have anything like that anymore, but I do have a retro gaming PC, which is quite nice. So I'm gonna, thank God. Now just need to get the motherboard in. And first I'm just gonna offer up and see what kind of space we've got here. This fan is fully in the way. So what I'll do is I'm gonna need to take off this fan first. Yeah, old guard is a nice way of saying it, Frank. You could just take away the guard, and that's what we are. We're just old. At least I am. You're a bit younger than I am, but I am 44 currently, which is just scary. I don't like being old, and I'm definitely starting to feel a bit older these days, you know. I went to the gym yesterday, and usually I wouldn't feel too bad after the gym, but oh man, it's, you know, it's just really starting to get difficult. Well seasoned, yeah, we'll go with well seasoned, Frank, thank you. I like that. Right, so I'm just putting this in place to see how everything's going to fit, and we're going to have loads of room. Oh, let's put the top-down view on as well. Is that good? Oh, Scott has a couple of years on me, 46. It's a great age, Scott. I like being my age. Would you go back and be 20 again? I'm not sure I would. Maybe if I could be 20 and still retain all of my memories and knowledge and such that it is, that would be cool. Or maybe go back in time to 20 and still retain my memories and knowledge, and that would be, yeah, I don't know, I could just like buy houses and play the stock market and things like that. That would be pretty cool. Right, I'm going to move a few things here. I need to find something which is missing. Here it is. I've got a little standoff remover for the motherboard screws because I'm going to have to. The cases usually come set up for ATX motherboards, but we have an mini ATX. So just need to get rid of some of these, put them in different places. And that's particularly boring. I don't know if you can even see what's going on there. I should probably zoom back out of on the top down view now. Let's give that a go. Configure. And let's try zooming out so you can see a bit better. Okay, hopefully that's all right. Cool, I think it's okay. Oh, whoops. Everything smooth now? I think it is. I think it's looking okay. Well seasoned, yeah, I like that. Thanks, Frank. Right, so I need to figure out where to position these motherboard standoffs because unhelpfully they don't have any indications. Usually a motherboard will the case will have a little thing that says put one here for ATX and put one here for mini ATX, etc. But they don't seem to have that today. I guess because it's a bit of a smaller and cheaper case, but that's okay. I just need to put it back in this particular one and then find the other couple, and then we're good to go. All right, let's try. And it's just a bit of a process. You have to put it back, line it up, and then figure out which hole you want to put something else in, like so. So that's that one. Oh God, I can't even see that now. There we go. Scott, tell me about what games you're going to want to be playing on this. I'm interested to know if you've got any favourites or if this is going to allow you to play bigger and better games, or what's the situation? What are you going to use it for? And if not just gaming, are you doing anything else with it as well? Like maybe, that seems to be everything. Yep, that's it. Right, so maybe you're using it for some production stuff and work, which is often the case. So I'll just get rid of these peels. This one is stuck right in there. Come on. Oh God. Okay, out you come. Thanks. I've been playing a lot of retro games recently because I just set up a PC with an operating system called Balatro, and it is essentially an emulation, what would you call it, operating system, and yeah, it's very cool because basically got every single old console on there, which, yeah, I've been playing some Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon Soul Silver, which is the second generation Pokemon game, but it's the remastered version, so it's slightly better. I think it's on the Nintendo DS rather than the original Game Boy, which is old now, older than me even. So, right, here's our motherboard screws. So now we're going to get our motherboard in place and get all the screws in place so that we can have it fixed onto the case here. Sorry guys, this bit is particularly boring. I'll try my best to be interesting and enthralling. Spoiler, that's never going to happen. This live streaming gig is not always the easiest for me. I am a very strong introvert, so talking to essentially no one, well, I suppose talking to no one is probably not quite as bad as talking to a complete stranger, but I guess I'm talking to a lot of complete strangers at the same time and they're not talking back, which, yeah, can be difficult. But Scott says he's going from a PS5 to a PC and he's also going to use it for studying. Oh, cool. Oh, what are you studying, Scott? Very interested to know what you're working towards. And what games did you play on your PS5? And what games are you planning to play on your PC? Sudo! Hey Ethan, how you doing, buddy? Sudo has joined the chat. This is my young friend Ethan, who is more technical, more knowledgeable when it comes to lots of very techie, nerdy things than even I am. He is a very smart boy and has helped me a lot with my NAS and server setup. So thanks, dude. Right. I'll probably upgrade the CPU and motherboard in 12 to 18 months. Okay, all right. What's the situation behind that then? Do you think you'll be doing more with it in that period than you are now, or what's happening? Right. Just gonna. Right, now I want to. This is going to be very annoying, so I'll have to just leave it like that for the moment. I'm going to do the cooler now, but so this is what I mean by you don't always know the best way to install everything, because now I've got the back plate which is just falling out of place, and I need to hold so that I can then put the screws to hold it in. So this is going to be a bit tricky, but let's see. So I've got to hold this in place. even find the slots. Where are we? There we go. I have to do one at a time. Hold the thing in place. I'm going to have to do all 4 at a time actually. This is going to test my dexterity now because I've got one hand holding the plate on the bottom. Now this is where I realise, of course, that I should have done it the other way around, and that in this particular instance, attaching it to the motherboard before putting it into the PC, into the case, would have absolutely been the best way to do this. And well, you know, I guess you live and learn, right? Scott, I work in IT, so always learning new stuff or looking at Game Pass for games like Forza. Oh, cool, yeah. Game Pass is ridiculous value. When I go on the pod, because I don't have a console and I don't play any console games, but and nor do I have Game Pass. But the guys on the pod are always talking about Game Pass and the amount of games that are on there, and it's ridiculous. It's really crazy how much value you get from, I guess, what is probably about a tenner a month or something. So if you're into playing lots of decent games, I think it's a fair shout. Looking to get higher frame rates, at least 1440 if this struggles a bit. Yeah, I mean, as it stands at the moment, getting high frame rates in 1440 will be, it'll be reasonable. You might have to keep the settings sort of medium-ish. The CPU itself is probably not going to be an area that is, well, I guess you said you were going to upgrade the CPU and the motherboard, but to be honest, graphics card is where, so this one that we've got here, this is a great value graphics card, but it is value rather than you know, really high end. I would say that if you, rather than, you could maybe do it in stages, Scott. I would say that if you feel that you want to up the graphical performance or frames on your games, I would say keep the motherboard and the CPU and then make the GPU the first upgrade. So go from this to something like, I would say, in the current, you could go for the 9070 XT, which is £600, or you could go for the 5070, which is just under £600, or the 5070 Ti, which is about £750. Those, what you're looking to do is to get a graphics card that won't necessarily be held back by your CPU. So if you've got a 5090 or a 4090, that will definitely be held back by the CPU. But anything kind of mid to high, probably 4080, 5080 being the maximum that you'd want to do, will mean that the CPU isn't holding back the graphics card, which can definitely happen. But this is a good chip, and it should be pretty good for very, you know, almost the highest end of graphics cards. Really good value, but Microsoft are rather slimy on cancelling it. What are they cancelling? Game Pass? No way. Is that real, Ethan? What's going on there, man? I don't know anything about that. The guys on the pod talk about Game Pass all the time, but yeah, haven't heard that it's being cancelled. All right, so that is the motherboard in place. So now I want to bring this round and get our power supply unit in. So what I'm going to do is, we've got a little drive caddy here. Almost nobody does or should use mechanical hard drives in their PCs these days, I'm going to take this out, Scott. If you want it to fit in some mechanical hard drives, which I wouldn't recommend that you do, because SSDs are so cheap now, and they're 100 times faster than a mechanical hard drive, if not more. If you want to keep it, let me know now, and I'll put it in the box. But if you don't, I'll just chuck this away, because it's really not necessary for modern PCs. Even SSDs. So you may not want to put in some more expensive M.2 SSD storage, but even a large like 2 or 4 terabyte SATA SSD is going to be massively better performance than a mechanical hard drive if you wanted to do things like just store lots of videos or large files or Linux distributions. Oh yeah, yes, I remember you saying you'll be adding the other NVMe from your PS5. That's fine. I would say then if you wanted to add more storage on top of that, get some SATA SSDs, and you can see that there's a couple of slots just here. They fit in right there, and then you can connect them straight to the motherboard, to the SATA ports. Much faster than mechanical drives, and yeah, as I said, if you want to keep this, let me know, but I wouldn't recommend that you'd use mechanical hard drives. Sudo, no, as in people want to cancel their subscription. Oh, I see, they make it hard for you to cancel the subscription. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that's just standard fare these days, isn't it? You have to jump through a million hoops and call the support line rather than just talking to someone. It's well annoying. Okay, we're now going to open up our power supply unit, if I can even find the entrance. There it is. And this is a modular gold power supply. It's a good one. I always recommend buying a better power supply than perhaps you need, because power supplies are one thing that never really break if you get a good one. They will just last probably 2 or even 3 upgrades on your computer, 10+ years. So that is my suggestion. And you should also, I would say, slightly oversize your power supply. You don't need to massively oversize it. So this one, with this graphics card and setup, you probably only need 650 watts. Scott has wisely gone for 750 watts, which is perfect. Just gives a little bit of headroom for if he wants to put some upgrades in there later. Right, so we're just going to get this in place. That's the wrong way. Try that again. And just going to find a couple of these screws now, a couple of these bigger ones, and get the, oh, you know what? It's probably a good idea to attach the cables that we're going to use now, because they get a little bit difficult to reach. Sorry for all the rustling. PCs come in so much plastic, don't they? All right, so what do we have on that motherboard? We had one 8-pin EPS, didn't we? Let's double check. Yes. So we'll plug in one here for CPU. We then want, we've got a spare one here, which we'll plug in, but we're not going to need, but it's just easier to have plugged in because you don't want to lose your power supply cables. And I'll tell you why, because you should only use the exact power supply cables that come with your exact power supply. If you try using them with different cables, you're going to have a bad time, as in PC go boom boom. So definitely don't do that. So you can keep your motherboard cables if you don't want to plug them in, in a little bag somewhere safe or whatever. But I find the best thing to do, at least for our business, is to just plug them in, so that then they never go missing, because you might have some issues when you take things out the bag, out the box when you get it home, and you don't perhaps see where everything goes, and we don't want that happening. So I'm just going to plug everything in, And again, I probably only need 1 or 2 of these cables, but I'm going to plug them in anyway. Come on. Good. You can see and blend what is happening. Oh God. Right. We'll leave that one. What else have we got? We've got some SATA here. Let's get those in. These are a bit different than usual. Okay, that's interesting. They're using different connectors to the motherboard. That's fine. Haven't used an Antec in quite some time. I see they're doing things slightly different, but it's all good. Okay, and then we seem to have one more cable down there, but nowhere to put it. So I wonder what that is. Let's have a quick look. What kind of oversize is good? 20%? Yeah, give or take. Oh, this is our 12 volt high power, but there doesn't seem to be anywhere for a 12 volt high power to go. Oh, okay, we need to use 2 of these. Right, gotcha. So instead of plugging in the 2 6-pin connectors, we just, if you're using an NVIDIA card with a 12 volt high power, you just take 2 of those connectors there, and then you've got the 12 volt. So this one will be in the box. You won't need this for your current graphics card. So get a bit of water. So I would just like to say, again, thank you to Scott for your business. Really appreciate it. Scott came through, as I said earlier, the Extreme Gaming podcast, which I do with a few guys that kindly invited me to join them one time, and then said, well, hell, you might as well just come back. So I did, and now I do it every week, and it's great. We talk about tech, we talk about games, and if you like podcasts where a bunch of nerds talk about games and tech, give it a look. I guess everywhere that you find podcasts, it's called Extreme Gaming Podcast. And it's really fun. And that was how Scott found us, which is great. So I'm very thankful to Scott, but also to the guys at Extreme Gaming Podcast. Sorry again for all the clattering. I'm just going to get this in place and then get it attached to the case. If anyone is looking for a new PC, please give us a look. We're Gamertech. Our website is gamertech.org, and we proudly sell what I believe to be the best value computers in the whole of the UK. Just because I'm a bit of a nerd like this, I always check our pricing against our competitors, and this PC cost, I think, £806 for Scott, something like that. And I went to go see how much the equivalent PC would cost at the 2 biggest alternatives in the market, which is Chill Blast and PC Specialist. And they were at about £950 and £980, which is a pretty big difference on a PC that costs £800 to start with, or cost £800 from us. That's a big difference. So yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. We are not in this for becoming millionaires, although it would be nice to, you know, make a little bit of money, but we're not looking to make loads and loads and loads of money. We are looking to make sure that all of our customers are able to buy affordable PCs. So I'm just looking at trying to find the right screw now. I've got a load of screws here, and one of them is a particular size, and I can't seem to find it. I'm just blind, I think. we make sure that all of our PCs are affordable for our customers. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good selling point for Gamertech. I mean, just being cheap is not good enough. That's not enough for sure. You also need to have a good service, and I think our service is decent. So what it looks like essentially is we do a 3-year warranty as standard, which covers all of your parts as standard. So if anything goes wrong within that 3 years, your PC will be replaced, either by replacing the component itself. So let's say your graphics card went wrong, we would just put in a new graphics card for you. Or if it's easier and better to do so, we'll just replace your PC. Whatever makes sense. Oh, this is not a good view now. Let's try this. Main only. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, the service is, I think, the important part, because anyone could just sell you a computer, but it's being able to manage any issues that come up in the future, like faulty parts. So we can, if you buy a PC with us, you can extend that warranty to 5 years as well. It costs a little bit extra. Not everyone will do that, but some people will, just for that peace of mind. Typical lifespan for a PC is, 5 years or more. So 5 years is a pretty reasonable number, I think, to have your PC protected and warranted for. We've got some other cool things that we do that others do not, which I wanted to say as well. So I'm just trying to concentrate while I do this. So one thing that we do is we allow you to bring your own GPU. So look, listen, it's hard out there. It's tough out there at the moment, guys, right? GPUs are expensive. A decent GPU is, 600, 700, 800 pounds. If you want the best GPU from NVIDIA, it's £2,000. £2,000. You could buy 2 entire PCs for that. So we recognise that you might not always want to upgrade your GPU at the same time that you buy a new PC. So we allow you to bring your own GPU. So that means that if you buy a PC with us, you can either, I'll build the PC for you and then deliver it to your house. You can install the GPU yourself, or you can send us the GPU before we build the PC, and I'll build it right into the PC so that it arrives at your door ready to go. Which I think is a cool thing to do. The other thing that we do, which I think is quite rare in this industry, and in fact I don't know if there's any other companies in the UK that are doing this exactly, but we do PC kits. So if you're a bit more advanced, excuse me, I'm just going to have to play around with some plugs here. If you're a bit more advanced with your knowledge of computers, then we can sell you a kit, which is essentially all of the parts that you need. So, the case and all of the bits will arrive at your house ready for you to install. Now, I think that's pretty cool because not everybody knows how to do that. But if you do, there's no point paying somebody to build it for you, unless, maybe you're short on time or whatever, that's fine. But if you can build it yourself, then why not do that? So we essentially just remove our build cost for the PC. So it makes it so that, if you went to go and buy all of the PC components at Amazon or wherever, it would be like doing that, except you've got a PC that has been properly configured using our PC builder that doesn't allow you to make an incompatible or bad PC. So I think that's really cool, and I don't think anyone else is doing that, at least in the UK. Give me a second here while I just put these tiny little plugs in. It's very hard to concentrate while you're doing that. Okay, I did it. I did it. Okay, right. So I can make this a lot prettier, but I won't do it just now because that will take time, and that's something that I do with the camera off, because much like troubleshooting, it's a necessary part but very boring to watch. How's everyone doing, by the way? We're almost done here. I've just got to put this extra fan back on, and then plug in the graphics card and the 2 fans at the front, and we're set. So yeah, almost there. All right, I need some more. Where do those fan screws go? Here we go. So hopefully that gives you an idea about why at least I think you should buy from Gamertech. But if you don't want to take my word for it, go have a look at our website, and at the bottom there'll be a link to go to our Trustpilot page, which is where all of our reviews go. And you'll see there that whilst we don't have a lot of reviews right now, I think we have 17 or 18 or something, what we do have is a perfect 100% 5-star record, which I'm very proud of, because I guess it's not an easy business doing this. Well, I mean, building a PC for me is quite easy, but it's all the other stuff. It's all the other stuff that's a bit difficult. The actual PC building is just fine. And I say that just as I realise that I put the fan in upside down, and that doesn't allow me to bring the cable around to where I need it. So there you go. Even professionals that have been building computers for, oh God, when did I build my first computer? It's got to be at least 20, 25 years. I'd say around about 2000, maybe slightly less, maybe 22 to 23 years is how long I've been building computers. A long time. And what's that little smiley for, Jem? I don't even know what that smiley means. The upside down smiley. This is the smiley. Oh yes, sorry, it means I put the fan in the wrong way, isn't it? But what does that smiley mean? Does it mean, like, help me out here? You know, Jem likes to call me a boomer, which I just want to be clear about. I'm not a boomer. Technically, I am Generation X, because I was born in 1980. If I was born 1 year earlier, in 1979, yes, I would technically be a boomer. But she likes to tease me, Jem. Jem is my girlfriend. She likes to tease me that I can be a bit old-fashioned sometimes, and one of those things means I don't know what the upside down smiley means. So please, can somebody explain to me what an upside down smiley means? Someone young and hip and cool, not like me. Right, let's get these fans plugged in. So let's find, what we need to do is find the motherboard. Oh, we need to put the cooler on as well, I forgot about that. We need to find the motherboard headers for the fans. So we need one for the CPU, that's there, CPU fan. And then we've got one here, one there, and 1, 2. Might need to use a splitter. I've got a splitter over there. I won't grab it right now, but I've got a splitter for just these kind of situations. Yeah, I think Boomer goes up to 1979, yeah, and then Generation X is quite a small segment of people, 1980 to I think 1985, or maybe 1990, I don't know, is it just one decade? I'm not actually that sure. I'm going to put the cooler on now, So let's grab all the bits we need out of here. Nice little cooler. I like deep cool products. They are very good value for money. And here at Gamertech, we love value for money. We really do. Because that allows us to sell our computers at reasonable prices. Oh, we also need some... Okay, so this is something that you always need to do a little bit of double checking on. So here you can see we've got our cold plate, our plate to connect to the PC, to the CPU. Now, oftentimes this will come pre-pasted, but there's no pre-paste on this one. So if I put this on there without the paste, again, we would have had a very bad time. So I'm going to use some paste here, and what you want to do is, let me just turn on the thing there. Oh, that's quite small, isn't it? But should we zoom in again? Yeah, let's zoom in again. Oh no, what's going on? That's the wrong one. That's the right one. So, oops. Okay, hopefully that's a good enough view for you there, guys. What we need to do is use roughly a pea-size amount of paste, and you could just splodge it in the middle like that. You can do some fancy things like spreading it all around or doing an X or something along those lines, but honestly you don't have to do that. The connection between the CPU and the cold plate of the cooler is, you know, just so tight and flush that essentially it's going to form its own barrier, and it will make sure that all of the paste is in the right place. So we just offer that up into the right place, and then we just want to make sure that we are applying even pressure. So what that means for the cooler is adding, or just doing a little bit on each side, 5 or 6 rotations on each side, so that we've got even pressure on the CPU. Andrew, thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you, my friend. And Andrew asks, or says, I like the background, and asks, was it easy to do? Maybe I'll let Jem answer that one, since Jem helped me do it and was had to put up with my nonsense while doing it. Jem will say, absolutely not. It was a pain in the arse, and it was the worst 2 hours of my life. I thought it was okay. I mean, it was just fine. Right, so what we're going to do now is just plug in. Where'd my knife go? Yeah, this is a really ugly sticker that you get on these cables, and I just want to get rid of that because it's just gross. Big white ugly sticker. So just going to plug in our CPU fan header here. Now we're going to find a place to plug in the RGB cable as well, which is just knocking around here. And I should have, where's the nearest one? Down there. Well, that's pretty annoying. So I'll bring this round. Okay. No, that's not even the closest one. In fact, some motherboards are a right pain in the butt. They just put things in places that you don't want them to be, and this is exactly what's happened here. I'm probably going to tidy this up later, but I'm going to plug it in here now, but later I'll run it through the rear and then back again so that it's much more tidy. Don't worry, Scott, you'll have a very tidy PC when it arrives. Right, got one more fan to plug in, which I just need to undo this little cable tie, and then we're basically done. Nice and easy. We've got one here, so let's bring that down. And again, Scott, don't worry about the wires for just now. As I said, these will be tidied up. There we go, system fan there. These will be tidied up before they get to use there. No problem. And our last one is this here. Let's just run that round and down here so it's a little bit better looking for just the moment. Alright, that is almost everything. Just need to add our graphics card now. Push these cables just under a bit so that they're not in the way. Let's put that here. So we've got our graphics card cable, power cable there. Let's just double check. I'm sure that this graphics card is only going to need one of those connectors, but should it need two, I've already plugged them into the power supply, and I'll easily just, and I'll easily just run it from the power supply straight over. One, right, all good. So let's take some of these peely things off the graphics card. It's funny, I never know whether people will want to do this themselves. I assume they don't, because once your graphics card and all the other bits are in the computer, people probably don't want to faff around with them. And that would mean that you'd have to like open it all up again and faff around with it. So I always take them off. So anyone that likes to do that, I'm very sorry. Maybe if you buy a PC from us, just let us know before we build it that you want to do that yourself. Right, I'm just going to see which slot this goes in, so I'll just offer it into the slot here, and I'm seeing that we need to get rid of the second and third blanking plates here. So just got some little blanking plates that I'm going to remove. Nice and easy. And we are essentially almost done now. Is everyone still having fun? Some motherboards do have them. Brilliant. Oh, Frank, yeah, you're a funny guy. I like that. All right, graphics card going in. Last step. Need to take off this little graphics card protector bracket. Second to last step. And my tummy is a rumbling. I need food. What time did I start this? At 1:30, which means it's probably about 2:30 or 2:45 now. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm very hungry. All right. So you just slot this in place. It's nice and easy, and then you've got a couple of screws that you attach back on again after putting this in place. Every case has some sort of method for just keeping your graphics card kind of safely locked in place. Just takes a bit of, having a look, see how that works. They're often different, honestly, on each case, and that's okay. Just takes a bit of time. Usually we build in a lot of the same cases, I mean, we have a very wide range. Most PC custom PC builder companies won't have anywhere near the wide range that we do. I think we have about 200 cases that you can choose from on our PC builder, which is just loads. It's too many, in fact, but that's fine. Right. There we go. Ignore this for the moment, Scott. As I said, it's going to be all tidied up later. So first, what I want to do here is just make sure. Oh, yes, Wi-Fi card. Thanks very much. Good memory, sir. Right, because this particular motherboard, how do you open this? Oh my God. This particular motherboard doesn't have Wi-Fi. Scott wanted to add in a Wi-Fi card, which is a great idea in case you don't have the ability to get very close to your router at home. So I'm going to look to see where the card goes in. I'm just going to do this and take out, oh no, got to take this blanking plate off again. This happens every now and then. You just kind of forget, I've got to do this, got to do that, that's fine. Right. Frank, you should show yourself up. Yeah, definitely. All right, so that goes in here. Actually, I'm just going to offer this up first. Oh no, we don't need that. That's for if it's a half slot. That's all good. Quite hard to see because it's very low down, very low light. So let's take this thing off again so I can see a bit better. Is the stream going okay? Haven't had any more what do you call it, stuttering or anything like that? Oh, I hope not. Right, so all I'm doing now is just plugging in this Wi-Fi card into the slot, and then I can add this back on, get the screws back in place, and then we're done. Broadband is on the bottom floor and the PC is on the third floor. Yeah, no, not ideal, but yeah, it happens. I think that's quite commonplace. Could you not move the router in any way? You probably could. If you got yourself a very long Ethernet cable, you could probably move the router, but yeah, might be more hassle than it's worth, to be honest. It's not always the easy thing to do. Okay, these are your Wi-Fi dongles. I'll put those aside for now. We don't need them right this minute. And now we can turn the PC on. All right. Power cable. I think I've remembered everything. So let's see what happens. Hey, there we go. We've got fan working, fan working, fan working, fan working, lights, everything looks good. Right, so let's just wait for about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds or so. And what we're doing is we're waiting for the post, which is, oh, I'm going to need to plug in the video card. Here we go. Sorry you can't see this, but I'm just plugging in the display port to the monitor. So what we're looking for now is the post, which basically says that everything is okay, all the components work, and there are no problems. And then after that, all I need to do is tidy it all up, install Windows, install all the drivers, update the BIOS, and then send it through our rigorous testing program, which is 12 hours of intense stress testing just to make sure that everything works just fine. that's a long way. It brings back memories of making 25-meter RJ45 cables for LAN parties back in 2003. Yeah, and it's far too much drilling required. And we've got our post as well, which is great. Okay, well that's it. We've finished. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. I think at one point it was 6 people. We are hitting the stratosphere now, guys. I'm very happy that all of you were able to join, keep me company, because if I do this without any people talking back at me in the chat, I'm pretty sure I might go crazy. So thank you so much to all the usual suspects, Jem and Frank, Ethan, thanks for popping in, and Scott, our customer, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being a customer, and I really hope you enjoy your computer. So that's it for me. This has been another build from Gamertech. Please visit gamertech.org for the best value PCs in the country. Bye for now.